to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the Green Lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to the Masters of the Nerdiverse podcast, where we always have such sights to show you. This Caribbean queen of a podcast can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Spotify. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me, as always, is the host with the most. He's smoother than the butter on toast. This Billy Ocean live action replay known as Winter Trash Monk the Thizard.
Hey, Mambo Trashiano. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Trash Monk the Third, Trash Monk I. That's Trash Monk 111.
Papi.
What?
You started this, man.
Yes. Man, I really need to get a daytime radio.
Yes, you do.
And send sayonara to all you people. No, just
wow.
kidding.
He's willing to sacrifice the podcast for daytime glory, guys.
No, just for a job that combines two things that I do.
Hey, that's the dream, man. If I could do this all day and get paid for it, you think I wouldn't, man?
Be the next, you'd be like a clean Howard Stern.
Nah, man. I would be a dirtier Howard Stern. Talk about everything.
You'd be Opie and Anthony?
No, I'm not. Just because you're dirty doesn't mean like you're like racist.
That was Anthony and a little bit of Opie.
That's what I'm saying. Opie. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Opie is racist.
All right.
Can't with it.
A little bit, a little sprinkle of racism. A little bit.
Sprinkle. Just a little bit.
We can say that their language is not always charged with a civil rights mind.
Hey,
let's just say they're not getting Jesse Jackson on the show anytime soon.
Dude, if the one drop rules applies at other places, it also applies for racism, Doug.
What's the one drop rule?
I'm not getting into that on this podcast. Either you know or you don't. I'm not getting into the one drop rule.
And it's like the Ric Flair drip?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I'm not going to do it. If you know what it is, you're probably like, Mike, come on. If you don't know what it is, you're like, what? And then you're going to look it up and think I'm weird. Either way, I'm screwed, so I don't care.
Yeah. So let me So how's your week going?
My week is going great, my man. I watched TV. Yeah. I watched the Move. You know what I'm saying? I had me a ruby red squirt. You know, I'm feeling good, dude.
A drop in any other manner is a one-stroke penalty. The new rule states that a player's only requirement that the ball must be at knee height when dropping and must not touch any part of a player's body or equipment before hitting the ground. Why are you quoting golf rules?
That's not the one drop rule, bruh. That's not the one drop rule, bruh. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but did you watch anything? See any famous people?
No, man. I just watched two things. I watched The Return to House on Haunted Hill, which is a horrible sequel to a remake, which was horrible. It was.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
What, the movie with Jeffrey Rush and they were at the Vatican House for the Criminally Insane?
Oh, I was thinking of 13 Ghosts.
They all run together. 13 Ghosts and House of Haunted Hill. That's a really good horror movie double feature, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, pro tip, watch those two movies back to back. It doesn't matter which order because they're both kind of blend together, but those are two good movies. But I watched The Return of it, which had little to nothing to do with any of it. It just a reason to have gratuitous nudity and violence and
As a
silliness.
student of history, I should have known this. Okay, go on.
As a student of history,
I should have known this.
You sound like the announcer from Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
dude, you know, the soul still burns. One drop, fight.
construct additional pylons. That's one of my new favorite things to quote in video game chats.
Construct additional pylon. What is that? Some Fortnite stuff, dude?
That's StarCraft.
What's the difference? I just triggered one guy. He's super.
Yeah.
And that one guy is Winter Trash Month of Thizard, dude. What else did I watch? I watched The Boys on Amazon Prime, which is based off the comic by, I think it's Garth Ennis.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the entire series. I kind of marathoned it. And boy, do I have a lot to say about that. No, I don't. The show is pretty much, if you don't know the premise, it's pretty much if the Justice League were assholes in real life and the Earth just kind of has to deal with it. And there's a team of regular humans who seek revenge on the Justice League. Kind of reminds me of a storyline in this great graphic novel called Planetary. Hashtag look up and read Planetary. I'm not going to explain what it is. Just get the first paperback for Planetary and read it. You will not be disappointed. But The Boys was about 10 or 11 episodes. And there's a Superman allegory. There's a Flash allegory. There's a Wonder Woman, version. And the show starts off really try-hardy. It's really edgelordy. There's literal full frontal nudity. There's drug use. There's cursing all through it. It just was a little too much. It was a little too ham-fisted. It didn't come off natural, Natural. And I'm not against any of that if it plays to the story, if it makes sense. But they'll just have a full frontal dude nudity scene out of nowhere just for the shock value. And I'm like, I get it, but it's not necessary, man. But that actually was only for the first 2 or 3 episodes. After that, it mellows out and it stops doing that after a while. And it becomes an actually pretty good story, a pretty good take.
They didn't suspect anyone else would watch it after that.
Yeah, they're like, if you're in past this nonsense, then you're good. But if you can't handle this nonsense, don't let your kids watch this show. I know it has superheroes and all that stuff. It's not for your kids, man.
No. Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Hide your wife. Because the, what they call the Superman version, the Homelander, like just a little on the nose. A little on the nose. But yeah, would I recommend it for adults who wanted like a weird take on superheroes? If you can get past the first 3 episodes, I think you'll enjoy it. But if you can't, then you may want to cut bite, and watch something a bit more tamer, like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't know.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And the Wasp.
The stinging.
the bizoning. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm watching Star Trek Enterprise. I'm on season 2 now.
Yep.
And they just had their first experience with the Romulans. Ooh.
Those jerks.
Yes, and they're heavily foreshadowing. So this is before the creation of the
Enterprise.
No, the Enterprise is created, but it's like the Earth Force or whatever, United
the Federation.
Yeah, the Federation, Star Federation.
Yeah, the Starfleet.
Yeah. So this is before the actual creation of it. So there's like a lot of references to, like, there's no guidelines to what the Enterprise should do right now. So they're heavily leaning on the issue of, like, since there's no prime directive.
Yep.
Now there's all this ham bone like craziness going on where
ham bone.
Where you're constantly in the show talking about, like, should you intervene in a culture? Should you give them technology to improve them? Or are you not making the matter worse giving them technology?
Okay, I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Does the name Sephram Cochrane mean anything to you?
Joe Cocker.
All right, finish what you were saying. Dude.
I don't know what you said yet.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard Stephen Cocker.
Sephron Cock. Dang it! Now you're gonna make me mess up his name, and all the Trekkies are gonna attack me. Never mind. I'd rather not incur the wrath of the Trekkies, though.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot. This show takes a lot of guts because most main shows try to avoid time travel. This one has a huge chunk of its storyline involved with time travel. So yeah, I'm interested in it just because I'm looking at it as someone who hasn't watched any of the other series, but I can kind of catch on things that they're hinting at in future series that in the real world already happened before the show existed. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's certain things you just can't avoid, like the Borg or.
Well, there has been no Borg. Yeah. Klingons have arrived and they're kind of already hinting at, like, if they found out what the Enterprise has done, that could spark some tension, therefore bringing in the original Star Trek series or Star Trek Discovery. I believe the Borg show up in Discovery, but that
you have a lot to get to till you get to Discovery, man. You have a lot to get through.
I have 5 seasons. Discovery happens in between Enterprise and Star Trek, the original series.
Now, are you watching these via air date? Or are you watching these chronologically?
Chronologically.
Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, rough. So what? You're gonna go Enterprise, then you're gonna go
Discovery.
Then you're gonna go OG.
Yes.
Then you're gonna go Enterprise, and then you're gonna go TNG.
Yes.
And then you're gonna go
Deep Space Nine and Voyager at the same time.
And then Voyager.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go, Discovery jumps like 1,000 years in the future or something stupid.
Oh, well, so Discovery happens later then. So it's Voyager and Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, then you close out with STD.
I don't know. What's that?
Star Trek Discovery.
Okay. Okay.
You got to get an STD.
Yeah. And then you do the well, and don't forget the movies as well.
Are you counting that? That?
I'm counting them as well.
Oh, so you got to get through
600 hours of
Jeez, man, you're on an adventure, winner. I envy you.
Engage.
Warp
speed 5. Worf.
You get to see Worf get hit with a bunch of barrels and his spine disintegrates.
I'm Worf.
That's what Worf does. He just growls at people like he just walks around the deck like he goes, "You have no honor." That's what Worf.
Yes. Yep.
He just walks around growling like Sabretooth at everybody, and everyone's just cool with it. Oh, that's just Worf. He won't bite you. Hard.
He's in 2 shows, right? He's in Voyager and Next Generation.
No, Worf is in TNG, and he's also a little bit in Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
And now I'm in Deep Space Nine with no honor.
Now I have no honor in Voyager. But no, like the core cast bounces around a lot, especially the OGs like Shatner and Nimoy and those dudes. They bounce around a lot throughout the series.
Take us to the planet, Captain Spock.
Now, when you're all done, I'm going to have to ask you who's your favorite captain. And yes, there is a wrong answer.
The black one.
Wow. Way to go, winner. Way to go.
Breaking the color barrier, one Starfleet at a time.
One Starfleet captain at a time.
It's not Captain Picard. It's not Captain Kirk. It's not Captain Archer. It's the black one.
It's the black one. You don't know his name. The black one. You know the one. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's the tall black one. Speaking of journeys, I started a new thing I breathed new life into a new thing where I have to read comic books every week. I started reading House of X by Jonathan Hickman, issue 1, and I put out a quick 5-minute episode called MOTN Reads. So I just started that up back on the YouTube channel. So I'm going to be doing that every week, rain or shine. I'm going to buy a comic and I'm going to read it and give you my hot take without spoiling anything. So
why don't you do a commentary as well? We're like, turn page.
Turn page. Now that's too much like hard work, man. Plus, I don't want to spoil the book for people who haven't read it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather give a hot take and give my thoughts than on page 5, Wolverine dies. They're like, what?
Now, I really like this panel here where Wolverine uses his blades go. Now, the blood the way it splatters, so he must hit an
artery or something.
Yeah. I almost said venereal artery.
Wow, that's a deep cut right there. But no, I also want people to buy these books. So I don't want to spoil things. I want them to pick up the book, read it themselves, and support their local comic book store. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Support your local comic book store. I haven't been in mine in 9 months.
Do it now. Do it. Do it now. Do it. Speaking of doing stuff, you want to do a poll of the week?
Yeah. Let's go to the polls.
Polls. Mm-hmm. If you want to see the gnome, you got to pay the troll toll.
I'll pay your toll, troll.
Sorry, that's ever a deeper cut.
I'll pay a toll, troll.
You gotta hiss at the camera. So we lost it. We lost the real one last week. We lost Rutger Hauer. Mm-hmm. Which is actually part of the news, but this kind of goes hands in hands with that. And so I put up a poll and asked the Nerdiverse, what was your favorite Rutger Hauer movie?
Now, Rutger Hauer is known for his character in the Salem's Lot remake on TNT.
Yep.
That's what he's mainly known for.
And also the HBO exclusive horror movie Split Second. Nobody knows about Split Second, dude.
Yeah, he was mostly a television actor by trade.
Split Second rules. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna talk about Split Second for a second. So it's the year 1995, and in England has been flooded due to global warming, but the intrepid police detective Dick Durkin is on the prowl for a serial killer with a penchant of using the Zodiac as his calling card.
And it's all because of Brexit.
Brexit is what caused the Zodiac killer in super future England, dude.
Yes.
If you can
hope you're happy, Boris.
Watch Split Second. It rules, dude. There's a scene where he gives the dog chocolate. It's awesome.
He killed that dog?
He kind of.
Yeah, but awesome. I would also recommend watching the TND Salem's Salem remake, Salem's Lot remake.
Yeah, man. Watch the Salem's Lot remake.
It didn't scare me as much as the original did when I was a kid.
Well, nah, man. The original was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeeks. So the movies I chose for the poll was Blade Runner, The Witcher, The Hitcher, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and of course one of my favorites, Hobo with the Shotgun.
Yes.
That movie's crazy.
In that brief 5-year stint of exploitation movies coming back.
Yeah, it reminded me of a Trauma movie. The movie's insane.
Yeah. Can we say, actually, not exploitation movies coming back, but like exploitation movies making it semi into the
yeah, exploitation movies never left, dude. They never left. They've always been there.
They're just terrible. Like, people thought of them back then as terrible.
They just come in and out of like public notice. Like Mandy is an exploitation movie, but Mandy was so crazy that it just hit the mainstream for a split second.
Nicolas Cage.
By the way, pro tip: go watch Mandy, dude. The movie's a trip. So we had our first tie of the polls of the week, where The Hitcher, which is an excellent suspense movie, and Hobo with a Shotgun tied at 15%. Buffy the Vampire Slayer came in second at 23%. And of course, like Tears in the Rain, Blade Runner ran away with it at 46%. Watch Blade Runner, all the versions of it, and then watch the weird one with Ryan Gosling. That's a good one too.
Yeah, with the watch it with the unicorn sequence.
Watch the unicorn cut.
Yeah, and did you know that the unicorn cuts were made from a different movie?
Yeah, it was called Throw Mama from the Train.
No, stop. Get out of here.
You don't know the lore?
the lore of a unicorn scene from Throw Mama Off the Train with Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal.
Yeah, crisscross.
And the bulldog lady.
The bulldog lady that was in Goonies, dude.
Anyway.
Nobody knows about that, dude. I'll fight you. But yeah.
I think my grandma knew about it.
I think my mom knew about it.
No, you said that you do.
Only me, dude. Me. Only I remember.
It's an old joke for you.
It's like the Mandela effect. Nobody remembers, dude. Mm-hmm. They only heard about it in whispers and secrets.
Yes, I heard about it in a Berenstein book.
In a Berenstein book.
They also told me that Nelson Mandela died.
Yeah, he ultra died, dude. And Sinbad was in Shazam, not Shaq. This world is. We live in a simulation. You understand this, right? We live in a Matrix-like simulation, and sometimes they have to update the hardware, and we get packet loss, which is why the Mandela effect happens. Mm-hmm. You understand this, right?
No, I don't.
That we live in a simulation that's all connected. We're all actually just like in some weird kind of super future where we're in beehives and this intergalactic race just watches and harvests us for our like nutrients.
Are you in? Is there like a fire from the 1950s happening back there?
Nah, man, they're coming to get me because I just cracked open the truth, dog.
All right.
And the Earth is flat, and chemtrails are slowly killing all the major cities and all that good stuff, dude.
There was a Gerard Carmichael. You know who he is?
No.
Comedian. He said that the moon landing was not real.
Yeah, moon landing was fake. There's a giant ice wall that blocks people from falling off the Earth. You know what I mean? All that good stuff.
They're slipping chemicals into the water to make us vote Democratic. This is uncalled for, people. But remember to buy my gold water from Infowars.com.
See, that's the thing about Blind Faith is that
the band.
That is a good band name. Uh-huh. Is that the absence of truth is just as powerful as the admittance of truth. You know, if you can't explain to me that something's real,
yeah,
as much as I can't explain to you that it's not. You know,
one choke over the line, sweet Mike G. One choke over the line.
Because you can't tell me my eyes aren't real. I can't see them.
They may not be real, but they're probably redder than the devil's.
That boy got the devil in him.
That dog won't hunt.
Dog go hunt. Sorry, we're making fun of like a whole quarter of the Nerdiverse. Let's refrain from doing so. And let's go to the news.
Time to go to the news and listen to what we got. We got news about Fortnite and stuff. We got stuff about Blair Witch 2. Zombieland Double Tap Hitchhiker's Guide.
That news was very spoiler filled, dude. Spoiler warning for the Nerdiverse.
You sprinkle a little bit on there, and then they go, I want the rest later.
The first line is free, but you have to pay for the rest of it, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's called business.
I'm really trying hard to find a line that our number one fan could put into hashtag MOTN quotes.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, you know, I want my MOTN quote to be that, dang it, I lost it just as soon as I had it. I'm plumb tuckered. About hashtag MOTN quotes, make it a thing. Yeah, there's news.
Yes, there's some.
And one of my favorite movies of all time is called Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. It's a really bootleg old school horror movie from the 70s about zombies, dude. I don't know why I felt like mentioning that, but I did. Yeah. And I can't take it back because it's recorded. So, Winter, I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
Why were you at the Fortnite tournament booing cheaters?
Because
they were eliminated from the tournament, dude.
Because cheaters never prosper, but people who complain about cheaters live on forever.
Forever, dude. Yeah. So let me get this straight.
We're emotion vampires.
We're emotion vampires, dog. How do you cheat in a tournament, in a global tournament?
There's so many people be getting caught everywhere. Okay, you remember you remember the Counter-Strike, right? The CS:GO.
The guys who brought their own rigs in, and the rigs were super cheating.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, first of all, who's the dumb coordinator that's like, okay, you can bring your own computer. Like, if you don't have enough money for a computer, then don't do it.
It's kind of nutty, right? It's like, this is a global tournament with $3 million on the line. How is there any fallacy whatsoever? Like, people walking in like, yo, we're going to cheat today. We're not going to get caught. We're going to get this money. Out of control, dude. Like, I get it. The thirst is real, but you got to know you're going to get caught at some point, right?
Yeah. Well, they if they were good utilitarians and brought out their calculator, they would have gone, the risk of being caught cheating is lesser than the opportunity of winning millions of dollars at Fortnite.
I guess, man. Scared money don't make money, right?
Exactly. Then you have to ask yourself, what type of human being are you that are cheating at a video game?
Yeah.
And then you have to outweigh that by going, but there's money on the line.
But there's millions of dollars on the line.
Yeah.
So why not give it a shot, right? What's the worst that can happen? You get kicked out?
Yeah, and I'm reading on here that he was peeking on another person's screen, which that goes all the way back to a cheating incident that happened with League of Legends. But when they had like some weird setup on the screen where players could have looked up and see where their opponents were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they were trying to screen snipe at a tournament with people looking over their shoulder the whole time watching them play.
It's crazy.
The bright side of the story is that some 11-year-old kid won $3 million.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not going to buy all...
He's going to buy a bunch of Monster Energy drink and buy him a sick rig to keep playing Fortnite. Now, my question is, can people like Ninja join the tournament?
That I don't know.
Who are pretty much owned by Fortnite at this point? Like super sponsors who are just so brand connected to the thing. Like, can they join? Isn't he technically working for Fortnite at this point?
That's a good question. I wonder if they're looking more for like a pro-am tour.
Yeah. Because this was like a free for all where anybody can just walk. It was a free for all. That's a wyvern. So anybody can just walk up. Nah, sing it now.
Some mama pajama roll out of bed. I don't know how the lyrics go.
That's okay.
It's a free for all.
It's a wyvern.
That's a Ted Nugent for you.
Proud sponsor of Masters of the Nerdiverse podcast.
Cut to like a commercial of him just like gunning down a boar in Texas.
And shoving its face into the camera. What a good man. Jeez Louise. Speaking of grossness, did you watch the trailer for the Blair Witch game?
Yeah.
Looks kind of cool, right?
It looks cool. It's a very precise way of putting it.
Yeah, it does look like a walking simulator.
Yeah, I also thought Until Dawn looked cool.
That was a good game. Don't hate on Until Dawn.
I liked watching people play it.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. Don't get it twisted. Like I didn't buy it with money. No, because I already knew what kind of game that was going to be.
Yeah,
and that's not my cup of tea. But it's cool. I support it, just not monetarily. Is that bad? Anywho,
trash on it. Come on,
dump some more trash on it. But yeah, Blair Witch looked cool. It's like you're going to be bouncing in between, like a Cam Vision kind of like. What was that one game that spawned a sequel? That was a horror game with the video camera. That was your light source. Outbreak, Outlast. It was kind of like an Outlast clone, but based in the world of Blair Witch, and supposedly it's going to have like time issues with it, kind of like where time bends or something like that. You got a pupper. You have a pupper buddy that you can play the game with. That looks kind of cool. So I say I need to watch more stuff about it. That's what I need to do. And I hope there's some kind of mechanic other than walking simulator, even though PT for the playable trailer was a walking simulator as well. It was also the best horror game ever made. So, take that with a grain of salt, guys, and do the Salt Bay move to spread it all over your hurt feelings. So, I was mentioning earlier that I read The House of X, written by the madman Jonathan Hickman. I'm just going to try to add at least one bit of comic news because I like talking about comics because they're cool and I can be nerdy. That's what the Nerdiverse is all about. It's all a boot. So, can I just have a X-Men moment, Winter? Will you indulge me for a split second?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. So, everyone knows what mutants are, right? The X-Men, all that good stuff, right? Storm, Cyclops, Beast. They're all X-Men, right? But in the Marvel Universe, there's certain classifications for mutants. There is beta level mutants, which is pretty much mutants that are relatively harmless. Think of Meg from Family Guy, where her power was that her nails could grow real long. And that guy was like, "Oh, that's not much of a power. She just scratches you. Not much you can do, right?" And then there's alpha level mutants, which are kind of everybody else, like mutants that can be seen as potentially dangerous, like a Cyclops or a Beast or Wolverine for that matter, who may be able to harm others as well as themselves to a certain extent. And then there's what we call omega level mutants. And these are mutants that have no upper echelon to their ability to the point of global threat. Kind of like Jean Grey or Apocalypse for that matter. Just problems that, if left unchecked, could destroy the planet. Mutants are that powerful where they're just like, we don't know exactly what they can do, but we know that they can do enough to where we have to classify them as this higher upper echelon of mutants. So Jonathan Hickman spelled out like his list of currently known omega level mutants that are currently in the Marvel Universe that we're probably going to see in some form or the other in the MCU. So I'm just going to quickly go down this list, Winter, and I know you have some kind of remnants of the X-Men. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay.
So, and if you don't know who that character is, just be like, who? And I'll give you a brief little synopsis on who they are. Okay?
All right. Let's go, Jack.
Let's go, Jack. So, first mutant on this list is Jamie Braddock, alias Monarch.
Butterfly mutant.
No, that is very close. That's Bessie Braddock, her brother, who's Psylocke. She's a alpha level mutant. She's pretty strong. Okay. Jamie is he does reality manipulation. And if you read comics, you know reality manipulation is a big problem. That means you can just change whatever you want. It's like having the reality stone in Endgame. Just do whatever you want. Iceman, Bobby Drake. He's an omega level mutant.
He can turn the whole world into an ice ball.
Among other things. Yeah. He
can make sure I always have fresh ice in my drink.
He can rearrange your molecules to where they rapidly explode.
But he can change my ice being the chip kind to the ball kind.
Yes,
you know?
He can.
Okay.
So if you're thirsty, if you want a margarita, he can just whip it up for you on a global scale. We have Joshua Foley, Elixir.
He can turn any drink into a concoction.
Yes, through biokinesis. This guy can manipulate cells in a way that he can make things grow, live, die, repeat. He's pretty much just a walking plague, pretty much. Interesting character. Jean Grey, Marvel Girl.
She's the one that X-Men always seem to want to kill at the end of the movies.
She's the one that dies. She goes, Scott! And she passes out. But no, she's quite powerful. David Hayler, Legion.
He's the one with the multiple powers in his head.
Yeah, very good. He's Professor X's illegitimate son.
Cookie.
You get 3 cookies. He can do pretty much whatever he wants. He has all the power.
Yeah, he has Aubrey Plaza in his head.
Yeah, pretty much. And she dances to mod songs. Magneto, Eric Lancher. My favorite mutant outside of Cyclops.
Bends all metal.
He bends metal with his brain, guys. Kevin McTaggart, Proteus. Oh no, Proteus.
He can transform everything into a protein.
Yes. Matter manipulation. Yes, he can do that. You're really good at this. I don't like. Are you a secret comic nerd? You're not doing that?
Nope.
Absalion. This is actually a kind of a fresh one on me because it's a stupid name. Ab- Absalian Mercator, Mr. M. I don't. He is just matter manipulation. We're moving on.
Okay.
He's a weird one.
Because there's two M's in his name. Mr.
Yeah.
M. Matter
Mr. M.
manipulation.
Matter. Storm. Aurora Monroe, the Weather Witch herself, can adjust weather on a global scale.
Whisking children away during divorce. No, that's the person who played Storm.
Wow. Wow. Committed murder.
No, it's not Matthew Broderick, but it's.
We're moving on.
Okay.
Bennett de Paris, Exodus. Dun, 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 dun. He's a crazy, powerful telekinetic. He can make stuff move with his mind, y'all. Quentin Quire, Kid Omega.
Kid Omega.
You figure out what his powers is.
He can take other people's powers.
Well, kind of. He has telepathy. He can read your mind and technically make you do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting
one.
If
you could read my mind.
What a tale my thoughts would.
There you go. You're an old person.
I'm old, dude. Shut up.
Yeah.
Franklin Richards, Powerhouse.
I don't want to guess what his power is.
Yeah, man. He powers down, dog. This is actually the son of Mr. Fantastic in The Invisible Girl.
Oh.
And he has reality manipulation to a universal scale. Like, this kid can create universes and destroy universes at a thought. He's pretty much a walking Infinity Stone. He's a living Infinity Gauntlet, pretty much. He can do whatever he wants.
Can he make a universe where they get my order right at Burger King?
No.
That is impossible. Goodbye, impossible. And he dies.
He just teleports out. He falls into like a space stone.
This universe is doomed.
This universe is doomed by. He just teleports away. Gabriel Summers, Vulcan.
What? He can fly.
He can fly, but he's actually the brother of Scott Summers, which is Cyclops, and he does energy manipulation. All the Summers kids can play with energy in some weird way.
Yeah, what else are you going to do for your summers?
Yeah, man. Make sure it's not so hot. Lastly on this list is Hope Summers. Her name is Hope.
She can manipulate energy.
She can. She has power manipulation, which means she can pretty much use anybody's power. She's kind of like Legion, but more controlled. Okay. And that's the list of Omega level mutants. This has been Michael's Power Hour. If you want more content like this, you can always follow me on Twitter. That's at mnerdiverse. All right. Moving on to the movies. Ready to talk some movie news, my man?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're doing it. They're making some kind of Continental series based off the John Wick films.
I'm down with it.
I'm down with it.
Yeah, I love that whole universe.
Did you see the third one?
Not yet.
It's good, dude. It's like that is a perfect trilogy. I've said it before. That's it.
Even though they're making a fourth.
But they're making some kind of weird Continental movie that's going to ruin it all. Our series, rather.
How dare you, sir?
I am.
The only way they're going to ruin this, if they do, we're making a John Wick MMO.
And John Wick's not in it.
John Wick's like, all right, I got to leave you in the city. I got to go do this. And you never see him ever again in the universe.
The problem with making MMOs based off intellectual properties is that everyone wants to play as the hero, but they can't. You can't play as Neo in the Matrix Online.
They're all going to play assassins, and you have to go around killing other people.
But people don't want to play assassins. They want to play as John Wick.
Okay, you play John Wick.
Not everybody can be John Wick. Not everybody can be John Wick.
Well, you can be someone like John Wick. Just picture like a whole world of people like John Wick.
That's the worst.
Okay, I thought I could read this. You need to give me a break. I have to go to the restroom.
All right, so I'm just going to talk about something while he goes to the bathroom. Welcome to MOTN After Not Dark. That's a different channel. I'm your host, Mike G, and I'm going to be giving you nerd advice in regards to relationship advice. If you would like to spice things up with your significant other, buy them a summer ham. It could be refreshing in the summertime, and it's good for protein. Also, I would partner that with a nice Chardonnay. Make sure no flies fall into it. And doubly make sure you do this after midnight so that when you feed it to your mogwai, it becomes a gremlin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, gremlins are real and they love relationships. This has been Mike G with MOTN, Not After Dark. Wink! Now we're just going to sit here and talk about the next part of news, which is actually going to be the Zombieland Double Trap trailer. And I'll just kind of start this while Winter comes back from taking his quick sabbatical, because I'm leaving all of this in. Yeah. To talk about that, this movie's kind of crazy that it came back together in the way that it did, given that most of the stars are either Oscar nominees or Oscar winners at this point, that they all decided to come back and make this movie. The trailer was kind of fun, very wacky and very Zombieland feeling, with, everyone coming back. Emma Stone, J.C. Eisenberg, all those good people. And I kind of think that zombies are officially on the outs, and they're only good for satirical, I would say, content. They're not really scary anymore until somebody does a 28 Days Later and just makes some zombies crazy again. But until then, zombies aren't scary. Just kind of like how in the 90s they really drained out vampires to where vampires were more of a joke, and we lost the terror in vampires. But I think with all horror tropes, they're cyclical. A movie comes out and makes serial killers scary, like Saw, or even back in the day in the 90s, Scream. But then movie makers say, oh, that made a ton of money. And then they just keep making film after film after film, and then they start going into satire. And then that particular mode of fear is no longer scary because it's been watered down. Look at Alien. When Alien came out, it's the most terrifying thing in the world. But then filmmakers got the money itch and started, I would say, making alien movie after alien movie, rip-off after rip-off, until the aliens weren't scary anymore. It became a joke. And then we had to rotate horror. So I think horror is like a summer ham, funny enough. You just got to keep rotating it and simmering it, and some new crazy filmmaker will come out with something new, and that'll be the new horror norm. Who knows what it's going to be next? Because currently horror is more kind of drama-based. If you look at films like Midsommar, Hereditary, Mandy mentioned that earlier, where horror is just kind of more atmospheric and kind of gothic horror. Or it's not like Boo Haunted House. It's more good horror nowadays. It's more affects you on a deeper level, especially Hereditary. Oh, geez, that was scary. So I digress until Winter gets back. But I would say that Zombieland is probably going to do okay. I don't think it's going to do $1 billion. It's not going to far from home it. But I think it's going to bring in enough money to probably revigorate the franchise if these actors and actresses want to keep still doing this. Maybe they'll try to mix things up. I think Zombieland would be interesting if they just threw in an alien invasion, funny enough. Because this movie is one giant satire on the concept of zombie invasion, end of the world kind of situation. And Zombieland always makes me want Twinkies really bad, even though Twinkie is actually the worst thing you can possibly put into your body. But every once in a while, one Twinkie is not going to kill you, I would say. It only makes you stranger. Look who's returned from the Porcelain Palace, Winter.
Porcelain Palace / I got distracted also with my phone.
This is the attention the podcast demands, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
But that's okay. One day, the dolphins are going to leave Earth, and they're going to say so long and thanks for all the fish.
And thanks for all the fish.
Yep. Just like that. Just like that. So are you excited for a Hitchhiker's Guide TV show?
Yes. I read all the books in high school. I watched the BBC show. I remember listening to the radio audio drama.
Yeah.
And I remember when the movie was coming out with Sam
Rockwell and Mos Def and
the movie was coming out, and I told my mom I want to see it for my birthday.
Really, that's cool.
So we drove up. My mom slept halfway through it, and I'm like, "Oh, look what they're doing! No, I remember this." Mom's like, forget. Like I didn't like it one bit.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see how they do it, where they take it. Because the horror of a TV series is that what if it's popular? How are they going to stretch this out over 5 seasons? They can. They super can.
Just add some violence and some nudity, and there you go.
There you go. Because that's what the Hitchhiker's Guide needs is full frontal nudity.
Yes, that's what Douglas Adams wanted.
That's what he envisioned when he
Yeah.
was on his peyote fueled daydreams, Doug.
Mhm.
You know? Yeah, I love that. As long as the depressing Eeyore robot's there, I'm all for it, Doug. It's all gonna fail anyway. Oh man. I think that's what we call a podcast, good sir. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to possibly finishing season 2 of Star Trek Enterprise and, playing some League of Legends. The auto chess is still a thing, folks.
Catch these hands with winner on auto chess, dude.
Yeah.
Catch these hands.
And, I've been doing a lot more reading, doing a lot less video gaming and a lot more reading. And by golly, I'm still a nerd.
Hell yeah. That's what I like hearing, man.
Yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
That's the bottom line. Because Trashbug said so.
Trashmunk would be a heel in the Attitude Era, Doug. 100%. 100%.
Oh, you better believe, so before we go, the persona that I had back in my my childhood VHS recorder pro wrestling life was called the Suicidal.
Okay.
Where it's like, well, you see how in regular wrestling matches, the fight is over when the person hits themselves, like gets hit in the head with like a weapon of some sorts, right?
Yeah, disqualification. So
what if you had a guy who tried to orchestrate the matches to make it look like he got hit with a chair?
Yeah.
so that he could win.
He would, man, the crowd would hate him, dude.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. And then what happens is you're like, well, I'm going to face you in Extreme Rules. And then he goes for the chair hit. And then the ref is like, keep going. And then the crowd starts cheering. And then here comes Sandman out in the audience.
You and Sandman, Doug.
He's not a good role model, but he's a great character.
But he's a great character, man.
Yeah.
I'm writing a short story right now called The Mandarine.
What?
I'm writing a short horror story called The Mandarine.
Yeah.
It's about a guy who eats a radioactive tangerine, and he starts to become part man, part tangerine. And his skin starts to get all bumpy and hard, and his mouth turns into like little seedlings and stuff.
Wow.
And when he spits out citric acid that burns people. It's gonna be like if The Fly met like a Fanta commercial. Yeah, he slowly transforms into a mandarine, Doug. He can spit out his teeth and grow other mandarines.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that.
I envision the mandarine being like Tom Sizemore. It's gonna rule, dude.
I don't think Tom Sizemore can imagine him being Tom Sizemore.
You leave him alone. You leave Tom Sizemore alone. If you want to pick up my script for The Mandarine and support it monetarily, you can join us on Patreon. That is Patreon.com/MOTN. Or if you want to join the cause and donate as little as $1 a month, you can actually help the podcast grow like a tangerine. But if you wanted to support this podcast non-monetarily, you can always like our content across all of the podcasting, I would say, avenues. And you can also join us on Twitter, which is @MNerdiverse. That is @MNerdiverse, where if you follow us, you'll be able to join in all the fun, which includes polls, which includes artwork, includes conversation starters. Sometimes we'll just post a GIF and let you decide what we'll do with it. And you can always subscribe to our channels. That can be on Spotify. That can be on YouTube. We're doing a lot more YouTube content in the future. The fight for the future. So you want to be a part of that, please do so. And we would greatly appreciate it. I've been, of course, your host, Mike G.
And I've been your host, Trash Monk the Third.
And we will always ask you to take that one step beyond.